Well, May 5th, 1990, that was your final NBA game. Now, Dr. Buss gave you choices. He said you could retire, be traded, be cut, or get a 5-year coaching contract with the Lakers, but you decided to leave and go overseas.
Dr. Buss was, and I've only played for him. Jack Kent Cook was the owner of the Lakers when I got there,
Yeah.
but I never saw Mr. Cook. Dr. Buss was more visible. He was around us. He was at training camp. He'd come down locker room. He was just always there. One of the greatest owners to ever own a sports franchise, in my eyes. So for him to give me that kind of respect at the end of my career, as opposed to where some people just cut the guy and then you go off into the sunset and never heard of, Dr. Buss made the Laker organization like family. And what do you do with one of your family members when they're at the end and they're trying to decide something? You help them. And I'm at the end of my career, and he gave me those options, you know.
Right.
And
But you didn't take them.
well, I did. The only reason I didn't take them because I couldn't see myself going after everything that I have done with the Los Angeles Lakers, being one of 3 Lakers to win 5 championships, helped bring that organization to close to a tie or up to the apex of the Boston Celtics. I couldn't see myself putting on another uniform for another team, coming back to the Forum, that's where we played at, and try to beat them and tear it all down. So I said, you know what? No, I don't want to do that. So he gave me an option of, okay, Coop, you can go do what you want, but no, you always got a 5-year contract. So I go overseas. I play in Rome.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Shaw and Danny Ferry had played over with this team called Il Messaggero. So I went and played over there. Had a good 1-year run, got the chance to see another part of the world because of basketball, lived in Rome, Italy, where it's so biblically historical over there, and being at the Coliseum and looking at the things that happened in the past to put us where we are in the future, then to come back and have Dr. Buss say, hey, go into the office, and I was able to move up, and I became, the title that I have is just, it's an ordinary title now, but that title was made for me, assistant to the general manager. And, you know, you already have a GM, you have an assistant GM, and I was assistant to the general manager. So it was a great opportunity for me and to come back and be part of the Laker fold.
Well, you left in 1990, but in 1991, you came back to watch the finals with the Lakers against the Michael Jordan Bulls, where the Bulls won 4-1. How did it feel to watch really the next big dynasty in basketball beat your old team?
It was, well, you didn't really see that at the time. You knew the Bulls were coming along. They were playing good basketball. And they, again, had built a good team. You know, Michael Jordan didn't leave Chicago to go make a super team or another mega team. He stayed there.
Yeah.
He helped with the drafting of players. They bring in Dennis Rodman, you know, again, that defensive player you need. The young player, Luke Longley, their center, was the type of player. Michael needed a different type of player than we had. He needed people that could just shoot the basketball because he was so creative on that offensive end. So to come back and see that happen, and then that's where you just wish that, you know, I could put my Laker uniform on, but obviously
Right.
you can't. But it was a heartfelt because, you know, had I been there and had Jamal been there and a couple of other pieces, we could have probably not necessarily started another dynasty, but we could have stopped one. But again, like I said, Michael Jordan was on a mission, and he was really at the apex of his game then because he understood what winning was about now and how to win. And it's not about you scoring all the points. It's about making others around you better. And he did that to the apex.
Well, November of 1991, Magic Johnson is about to make a huge announcement to the world. But before he made that announcement, he called you privately, and he told you that he was HIV positive.
Yep.
What was that phone call like?
When I finally got the news, is he called us and told us to come to the Forum, and it was myself, Jerry West, Dr. Buss, Lon Rosen, I forget who else was in there, but he calls us, Kareem, and he took me to the side and told me, said, Coop, listen, I contracted HIV, and at that time, nobody really had the full information about that. So all we had been hearing about is if you have HIV,
You're going to die.
it goes to AIDS and you're going to die.
Exactly.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
I remember just crying to him, and I'm like, E, what happened? You know, he goes, Coop, man, don't don't cry about this. God got me. I remember him saying that God got me. And I says, okay, I'm here for you. So then we all go out there and he makes that announcement. And, again, for me, I'm like, hey, this is my guy. He's not going to be here much longer. But I just think that our higher power, the Lord Jesus Christ, put that on his shoulders for him to make a big statement to the world. And you see the things that Magic has done since then. And but yeah, that was some devastating news. I mean, it was a lot of informed players didn't get the right information. So when Magic does go back on the court, Karl
people don't want to touch
Malone,
him.
people like that, they don't want to touch this guy. And I really think had people been a little bit more accepting of that, Magic could have possibly played 2 or 3 more years. But it was just a stigma of everything. I just think he's like, I don't even want to have them to deal with this because this is my issue. And, he just cut it short. And
well, yeah, but you also have to understand during that time, he was one of the first people to get like the Combivir drugs where they actually figured out a way to stabilize HIV.
Yep.
He was one of the first people to get it and to really take it seriously and so forth, because up until that point, everyone who had HIV got AIDS and died.
Yep.
A very horrific death at that. They would be covered in scabs and they would become
Lost
really
all this
skinny
weight and
and
everything. Yeah.
So I get it. It was really a shock to the whole world.
It was. And you know what? But again, I just believe what better person to have it, to hold that, to carry that burden. And I mean, he carried it royally and Magic, and he made some great changes in the research and advancement of AIDS. And he and Elizabeth
He became
Taylor,
the face of HIV, basically.
Him and Elizabeth Taylor just were like on a crusade. And now when you hear about HIV, you don't think anything of it. It's unfortunate that you have it, but you just try to go through the procedures that it takes to get yourself as well as you can. And here, Magic is still running along and looking better than ever now. But it was such a shame because had people been able to be accepting of that and let him play a couple more years, you never know what he could have done, because that time off he took away from the effectiveness of his game.
Well, yeah, but I remember in 1995, Eazy-E dies of AIDS.
Yep.
So yeah, although he was early on the treatment and he ended up okay, people were still dying in the coming years. This was a very scary disease. It was also, people thought it was only a gay disease and so forth. Did Magic ever tell you who he caught it from? Did they ever find out? Or is it just,
no,
I was just out there wilding out?
Well, no, I don't think he was wilding out.
But there was a lot of women during that time.
But you know what? He was doing what any single guy would have done. And again,
but he was doing it at a higher level. He was Magic Johnson.
Right? If he had that capability,
most single guys do not have that type of option.
Capability, he was blind. He was, no, he was doing. He was a young man. He has money. He's a famous player. He could do what he wants. Yeah, I mean, you live that life, and I'm not. I don't condone that, but I'm not going to condemn him for it either, because he's doing it. You do it your way, however. And Magic was being Magic. I mean, just think about all the other people that were doing it and dodged the bullet for some reason or another. But no, I've never asked him how he contracted that disease, and I don't want to know. And I mean, he's a man, and men do things, and women do things, you know. So look, I mean, Madonna, the people she's had, and all of that. Well, you know what? She's just one of the lucky ones where it never happened. So that's why I believe, everybody was doing that, and Magic caught it. I think he was supposed to be the one to carry the burden and to be the face of that. And look at it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm convinced Magic's going to outlive all of us, right?
Yeah.
He looks healthy as hell. He's on yachts and
I saw him at the game the other day against the Lakers. He looks damn good.
Right.
So